and welcome to another episode of Thoughts of the Roundtable with me, Matt Rebar.
And my name is Alex.
Yeah.
My business name.
Not to be confused with Paul Laux.
Alex.
Remember when I called you Paul Laux?
I've stopped correcting people with my last name, to be totally honest. I've gotten it all.
How do you think I feel as the silent H killer out here with Rebar?
I don't know, because when I met you, you told me your last name pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So I always kind of knew how it was pronounced, but I wish I would know like how I would try to pronounce it.
Fun fact.
Because it's kind of ruined for me now that I know how it is pronounced.
Fun fact, when I met you, I didn't think you liked me. I was like, oh, this guy. Like, you were kind of hard edged. You were like, hey. And I was like, oh, he's like tough one, you know. And then now I know you. I was like, what the hell did I think that for?
Because you met me at like 4 o'clock in the morning when I had that job, or I had been up since 4.
No, I met you at the APL, that beer crawl.
Oh, that's because I got screamed at in the beginning of it.
Oh, so you were checked out. Gotcha.
Literally, I got screamed at.
Now that
like,
I do
within
remember
the first
that,
5 minutes of the event.
I do remember that happening, and I've never connected it to. I was like, oh, he's kind of like doesn't want to doesn't seem to me like. Hey,
I pulled up to the event literally minutes after I had gotten off the phone from my boss being bellowed at. On the
you just walk out of the door. Hello, I'm here. And you're like,
I was on my way to the event, and I got a phone call screaming.
Oh my God.
That's how that went.
That's stressful.
And then I got yelled at the end too, so that was a fun one.
Yeah. So last time when we were here, we talked about how you saw a slam poetry 24-hour event.
Yeah.
And that I actually competed in slam poetry.
Okay, so first of all, it was back when I was in college and we had to, I was on this low budget TV production thing. We'd go around the city, go to restaurants, film a package there, whatever. And we had come across this event of a 24-hour slam poetry marathon. And, I mean, we all know what slam poetry is that really abrasive and, eccentric. It's not just poetry. It's like people it's very, it's poets poetry, basically. And so, which is funny that you competed in it.
Well, you know me, I write for 20 years. I've written a lot of novels, lyrics, poems, scripts, blogs, everything.
The music you write it's like borderline slam poetry almost.
That's actually a compliment because
it's
most of my music that I write, the point of it is to kind of be a take on pop music. So I kind of like it to sound on the surface of it look shallow, but then underneath it really have these deep lyrical
meanings,
ideas. Which is saying to me because the next album's actually, I think I might drop the next album in November of this year. Oh my God.
Isn't that your third one this year?
No, this will be my second one this year because Grenadine came out last year.
By the way, we should link all these onto the podcast.
I will. Game Over is on Apple. Well, here's the thing. Game Over is on Apple Music, Spotify. It's on Tidal. It's on Amazon. It's on Google Play. I'm like, oh wow, it's kind of legit. Which I'm like, am I legit though? And I think I'm gonna drop the new album in October or November this year, and then I'm going to go back to the album I released last year and remaster it, and then upload that as well to Spotify and Apple. And I'm in the talks. This is such a scoop for the two people who listen to this. They're like, oh wow. I'm talking to a couple people who I want to perform live musically. I've been wanting to do it for a long time.
Porchella. I still got to get Porchella.
Yes! I was supposed to do my headliner here at Paul's house for Porchella.
And then I ripped my deck apart and rebuilt it.
and then Paul was like, there is no porch. They're going to
the idea, the vision I had in my mind for Porchella was to literally have 3 people here.
Yeah.
Have this setup of
but now it's going to be maybe 50 to 70, and I will headline the performance with my outrageous pop act.
And costume changes.
Oh my God, absolutely.
All right, so we came across this thing of a slam poetry event overnight at some cafe. It's in Akron, Ohio. There's freaking weird little hipster cafes all
it's
over
Cafe Fresh.
And so we had the idea. It's okay. It went from, I think, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I think it was. And it's we of course you can, go during the day and whatever, have dinner there and bounce out. But we want to see the people who are there at 2. Because this is a world record, actually, they were going for. And so
they were calling people listen, we're just here to break the record.
To set the record.
Yeah.
The record didn't actually exist. So they were setting the record.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's let's go in the middle of the night to see when because it's not as, first of all, let's be honest, how exciting can you make a package on slam poetry be?
See, there's good slam poetry, but like
this wasn't going to be the place that you saw that. Sorry, I'd be cruel, but
no. I mean, like when I competed internationally, the level of talent and just writing and performance is high.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of tell my friends I'm a little bit of an art snob. Like even doing stand up, that I've been doing, like I've been snobby. Like, oh, I would never do a joke like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of like, and I realize that, so I try and like realize too that like, okay, just because you go at it really intensely and that you have a very vision doesn't mean that everyone, like some people just do it for funsies, and it's like, calm down, let Rebecca do her piece.
Okay, so we get there and I think we showed up at like 1:45 in the morning.
Jeez.
And so and mind you, we get there and there's only there's probably 15 people in the room. Only like 8 are poets. And nobody's showing up. And so what they're having to do is have people just go up over
and over
and just come up with stuff on the fly. And I'll never forget the first one we saw, because we set up, it was like 2 a.m. All right, we're like, all right, let's film this. Get some, nice solid footage of this stuff. This lady starts talking about her nipples. Like, immediately
really?
just starts talking about nipples.
I love it.
I was like, oh my God. And she's like comparing her boobs to like lemons. And this lady's mid-60s. Okay. No doubt. And we're like, well, we can't use this one. Like the college's going to let us show some lady talking about her freaking lemon nipples.
No.
Like, no, it's not going to happen. So we filmed some other stuff, and it's like getting progressively weirder as we like. Some guy goes up there in his pajamas and basically just like one guy read a Swenson's menu.
Oh my Lord!
And
see, to me that doesn't count as breaking the record. It's like you're filibustering.
Yeah, basically that's what they were doing.
Oh my God!
And so we saw some guy who went up there and he looked like Mel Gibson. And someone told him that, and they were live streaming this whole thing. And so the people on the live stream were like, dude, you look like Mel Gibson. So then he's on it was just a mess. And so it just led to, and then there was somebody who went up there talking about like killing people.
Oh.
And we're like, man, so it was about like 4:00 in the morning. We dipped out of there.
Yeah.
We never finished the pen because like there's nothing we can do with this.
I do get worried because some of the novels I've written have very serious, dark themes, and I think some people sometimes people there's like this disconnect between there's the artist and the art. Mm-hmm. I was just listening to a true crime podcast, and they were like, well, he wrote about these topics, so that could make him a murderer. I'm like, well, no, I mean that's just the creative, process is like
it all depends on what it is.
Themes. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I mean, it'd be different if he wrote the crime scene, 2 days before the crime happened. Okay, maybe that's suspicious, but just because someone's like, oh, they wrote this dark poem, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a dark person.
Right.
But can you imagine going up there and you're like, I have to fill 10 minutes of stage time, and you're like,
they tried to get us to go up there too.
Nipples.
That was the first one we saw. The first one, we're like, dude, if this whole thing's gonna be like this.
And then you were like, suddenly this single drink, I need a double. Bartender.
It was uncomfortable, man, to the max.
When I performed, so this happened back in high school. I had a friend named Max, and he was already doing slam poetry. And I was like, okay, that sounds like something I would be interested in. And we both competed so Playhouse Square was doing a competition.
How do you compete in poetry? I just don't get it.
Well, so long story made short, the event is called Brave New Voices. Mm-hmm. And the 2 years that I was in the team was out in San Francisco. So that's why I've been to San Fran twice, was because they flew me out for this competition. So what Playhouse Square did is they had preliminary rounds and matches. And they took a final 12 to 15. And it was on a Friday night in the Connor Palace. So I performed on the Connor Palace before.
Ooh.
I know, ooh, wow. I feel like this whole episode is just me being pretentious.
Basically.
I'm an art snob. I performed on the Connor Palace.
I can hear the unsubscribers.
The amount of people click this off. Pause, delete, forever. But, so there's I was in the top 15 basically for those 2 years. The first year I actually placed 7th, but there was a dropout, so I was on the team because the top 6 become the team. Second year I placed in the top 6 and I was on the team again. And what was different is, and this is something that I was very aware of, is performance poetry is predominantly, it's mostly Black and Latino art form. And so there I was as this white boy from, I went to St. Ignatius. It wasn't like I was like, like I'm middle class and very like privileged in a lot of ways, especially when it came to my education. And I think people like first saw me and they're like, what the hell is this kid doing here? And to make it more interesting was a lot of people went up there with like very personal poetry about their life, their experiences, these really hard-hitting stories and metaphors, sexual assault stories. But I would do like the total opposite. I would do like a lot of persona and like satire pieces. So like the one piece I did, and I remember this, it was called Prima Donna, and it was my housewife piece. And so like I went up there and I was like, the poem is basically like the experiences of a housewife. And I'd be like, I should get them made. And I was like snapping off. I was like, Consuale, whatever your name is, I want a margarita. And the whole theater, like everyone was screaming because it just like it was a true performance,
Yeah.
It wasn't this like thing where it was like my scars shine with 1,000 moons. It was like it was written as like this caricature, and then it came full circle. It ended with me kind of like breaking the ice a little bit, but it was a completely different style. It was like, who the hell is this white boy? Which in some ways I deserved because I'm coming in, but it was very different. And so when I went internationally as this team, I mean, not only were my teammates so like great of their own accord, but then to see these other people, like, because there were people from New York and Miami, to Cali, there was like, I think Guam, people came from Guam and England, and that, like, such talent and such good stories. Like one of the pieces we did, it was me and two girls, and it was called Mountaintop Removal, about mountaintop removal. And so I played the businessman character. The one girl played the local, and the other girl played a passerby. And so it was basically like these three perspectives of mountaintop removal. And I was like, listen, like we're here to make money. Like it is about the bottom dollar. Remove the goddamn mountain. And so like that piece too, like the character, I was really good at doing characters. I mean,
you are a
character.
Still am.
Yeah. So now that Paul's yawned 16 times in the last 2 minutes.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on.
Paul's like, I just don't do poetry. I can't appreciate poetry.
A funny thing is I failed poetry.
Did you? How did you fail poetry?
I don't know. I can't write poetry.
But here's the thing. When you think of poetry, do you think of a rhyming scheme?
Well, that's kind of what poetry is.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is, though.
Good poetry to me, it's about the poetry and not the rhyming scheme.
Poetry rhymes, or at least most people think of poetry as rhyming.
I will agree. I think most people think of it as couplets and like, the bear walked into the room. I am part of the groom. Yeah. To me, good poetry doesn't have rhyme structure because I feel like the rhyme structure, like rapping is rhyme structure. Like I agree, when you rap, you rhyme. But to me, poetry is not rap, and rap. Well, no.
You ever seen that famous video of...
Poetry can be rap. Rap can be poetry. But I think save the rhymes for the rap. Poetry should just be like what comes naturally, what flows out of you.
Didn't Emily Dickinson rhyme?
I don't know if she did.
Bet she did.
Bet you bottom dollar. Well, anyway, now that we've unsubscribed like 20 people, Paul.
Poetry's not that bad. I just don't get it. I just don't get it, man. Okay. So have you ever worked in a retail, like a grocery store or anything like this?
I worked retail for like a hot second at a bookstore chain that I won't name, but it rhymes with Farns and Tobles. And oh my goodness, Paul.
All right, so you probably got a lot of complaints, I'm assuming.
I mean, not about me, but just people who are like...
Well, I'm talking about the store.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole thing about the retail experience is that people just want to complain.
Everyone should have to work in retail for at least a year. 1 year.
What if instead of sending people to prison, we send them to work retail?
I'm telling you.
Is that a bad idea?
It's like how...
like you murdered someone?
Waffle House.
30 years of retail.
Waffle House, one of them failed its inspections.
Mm-hmm.
Like ABC wrote this article about it. ABC got lit up because everyone's like, listen, we know Waffle House doesn't pass inspection. It's like, that's okay.
You don't go to Waffle House.
It's like, you're not going there
for
it. One guy, there's some comedian that came out with the video. He's like, I want my cook there to have a felony.
Oh, you did show me that. Yeah, you were like...
He's like making my eggs with some fear in his heart.
Yeah. Oh my God, I remember that video.
Oh, man. Anyway, so going back to this.
Yeah.
This, it was at a Walmart, obviously, in Texas, obviously.
Oh, Lordy.
And so this woman, you know how they have those like cakes, those pre-made bakery cakes?
For a second, I thought you were talking about urinal cakes, and I was like,
How the hell did your mind go there?
I don't know, because I'm thinking cakes. Okay, bakery.
So some lady took one, and while she was shopping, ate half of it.
Oh,
then went up to customer service
and complained?
Asked to get the cake half off. And she got banned from the Walmart.
Oh my God, the audacity.
Oh, they don't care.
The audacity.
And so, moving on to the next thing. I remember it was 2 episodes ago we talked about the meteor passing over hitting Earth.
Absolutely.
Well, they found another asteroid that's it's kind of close to Earth. Okay. This one we actually want to crash, or it would be nice.
Why?
It's not as big, but it's nearly solid gold.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the riots that would happen if a solid gold hunk just crashed into the Earth? It's reportedly worth over 32 million euros. It's not that big.
But still. 32 million euros.
Oh, this is awesome. And finally. Mm-hmm. I saw this last week, and I wanted to text you about it, but I didn't want to ruin it. So, have you ever lived in any place that you thought was like haunted or anything?
You know what? I've never really had an experience with anything haunted or evil yet, and I'm kind of upset because, like...
You want that?
I want to experience something that I'm like, this is what has me believing in the paranormal.
My friend moved into a new house when he was younger. Mm-hmm. And to this day, it was his parents' house, so his poor parents, if this is true. To this day, he claims he did something wrong with the Ouija board, and he got some effed up spirits in his house, and like bad stuff keeps happening. Like he sees people in his parents' house, and he said it didn't happen till he's like, I effed something up with this Ouija board and really messed his house up.
I do believe in spirits for sure, but I just have never had anything happen.
I have never had anything that I can think of personally either.
I wonder if it's because I'm too busy living like my Carrie Bradshaw-esque, running around town, single mom on the go, killing my succulents from the last episode. And I'm just too busy to notice spiritual things like that?
I'm not afraid of anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, people are afraid, I'm not afraid. I can go to my basement. I can sleep in my basement. I don't care. Mm-hmm. So, maybe it's because I have nothing. I don't fear anything. I don't really think about it. Yeah. When I'm in a basement, I'm in my basement. No big deal to me. You know what I'm saying?
I like to think that I live my life as a pretty decent person. So, I feel I don't know, there's no reason that a spirit would want to.
I'm more worried about somebody, ringing your doorbell at 2 a.m. because they're just high or something. The hell knows. Okay. So, anyways, going back to this. This Virginia dad moved into a brand new house. Okay. Thought that his house was haunted when he got there, which I guess is the first sign or whatever. He got up in the middle of the night because he thought he saw a naked devil and shot 39 shots into the house in the wall. Look at that.
That wall is literally covered in bullets.
He shot 39 times at what he said was a naked devil.
Can you imagine being the contractor called up the next day and it's like, why is there all these bullet holes?
I want to know why the devil was naked.
I feel like the devil usually is chest out, pretty skimpy, because it's all about kind of lust, right? God's always modest in his robes.
I guess so.
I don't know.
Speaking of paranormal or otherworldly creatures, you know what a centaur, or what is the thing? It's half man, half
horse. That's a centaur.
A centaur.
You were right.
So, someone said this the other day, and you have to just look up a picture of Donald Trump standing, just standing anywhere. Because
I've seen the Photoshop.
Someone says he looks he stands like a centaur that doesn't have the horse part of his body.
Yes, because he leans forward. He leans forward.
And I can't unsee this. He literally looks like a. What was it? I think it was this one.
Oh, that one. Oh my god.
That one right there.
It's so true.
He stands like a centaur that misses the
That is
the
so true. Now I can't unsee it.
You'll never unsee that again. All right, so you got some advice for us?
That's advice. Dad advice with me, Matt. Okay, so these 3 are all about gifts.
Okay.
So that's the theme. I kind of went a little thematic. So I hope you like it. So this is from Ask Manager. People are upset that my candy dish is gone. So for a couple years, I kept a candy dish on my desk filled with chocolate. It was something I enjoyed providing. Sometimes I got frustrated with greedy people and the fact that only one person ever offered to put in candy or money into it. But it was something I did. But I saw a financial advisor about a month ago who told me I needed to cut expenses. She realized she was almost spending $1,000 a year on candy for this candy jar.
Good God.
And she's like, yeah, that's like $20, $25 a week adds up when you multiply it. So she
decided... How much
was she
putting in there?
I don't know. She must have been putting a lot, and her coworkers must have freaking sucked.
I know. That's why you put crappy candy in there that nobody wants.
So she's like, so I decided to stop providing candy. The first week was easy because I was out of the office. I figured people would get used to it, but now we're in the second week, and there are comments. No candy. When's the chocolate coming back? Some wanted me to explain why it's gone. One person suggested I could keep buying it, but then asked the company to reimburse me. All the people making comments and demanding explanations are the higher-ups in the office. These people probably make 4 and 5 times what I make, and to top it all off, there is a drugstore with candy for sale right in the building. I've tried saying I'm passing the torch, or, as Miss Manners advises in such occasions, giving a tight-lipped, weak smile. Still, the comments and questions persist. Why do people think they're entitled to spend my money on this candy? How do I get the comments to stop?
This is the most petty thing I've
It really is. And the Ask a Manager gets right to it. She's like, people are thoughtless. Some of them probably don't even realize you were paying for the candy with your own money.
And they think asking your company to pay for it's just a cakewalk.
And they probably think you're not even spending that much money on it either.
That is a lot of money.
You know?
Can we be honest?
Yeah, I mean, $5.
That's a lot of freaking money.
She says they're probably thinking you're spending like $5 a week.
I want to know what kind of candy she's putting in there.
Full Snickers bars?
Like full Reese's? Like, what are we talking about? Because that's why every time I see someone with a candy dish on their desk, it's like those crappy, like, off-brand Lifesavers that no one wants.
And she says, people know, like, they're taking it, but they just don't think about the money, which is, they're not entitled to it either, so they think they're entitled to it. So she says, just literally explain, or just say, I was spending too much money on it, I didn't want to keep buying it, my candy days are over, and don't let it get to you. If anyone pushes beyond that, you could say they sell it downstairs if you want to take over. And
send out one of those petty company emails
oh my God,
that says that.
I mean, I think I'd be that kind of, I'm very honest with people. I think I'd be that honest to be like, I was spending $1,000 a year on candy.
That is a lot of freaking...
Of my own money.
I still can't get over that. I literally can't.
No.
That's a portion of your salary gone.
Especially when you don't make money, and I don't imagine she's making that much money
no.
to be... Like, it's different. Okay, I have, if she was an upper executive...
I mean, you're a millionaire, so for you, it'd be okay.
Me, a millionaire, more like a hundredaire. Here's this next one. Are you ready for this? This one I feel like you'd like.
I like that last.
Our grandniece was supposed... Well, yeah, but like you like this one too. Our grandniece was supposed to be married in April of 2018, but a week before the wedding, she caught her fiancé cheating and the wedding was called off. We live 1,000 miles away, so several weeks before the wedding, we went online to their gift registry and had a gift valued at more than $250 shipped directly to them. The mother of the bride confirmed when the gift was received. After the wedding day passed, we thought we would be reimbursed, or that if we want the gift, asked if we wanted the gift returned. It's been a little over a year now, and not one word has been mentioned about returning any gifts. Other family members are in the same situation. Abby, isn't it proper to return gifts if the wedding is called off? If it was an inexpensive small gift, we wouldn't feel so bad, but we're kind of hurt and a bit shocked. And Abby's like, girl, you are not wrong. I assume you never received a thank you either, which she's right. You probably didn't get a thank you or want this gift back. She says, wedding gifts are not to be considered consolation prizes. The rule of etiquette is if there is no wedding and the wedding gift has not been used, it should be returned to the sender.
I would think, yeah. I've never been in this situation, but just my gut reaction is that's what should happen. Like, if I were to give somebody a gift and it didn't... What about this, though? Think about this. Say you give something... let me think of a good... Mm-hmm. Here it is. A voucher for something on a trip, okay? Like a excursion or something. That they're going to do, like, I don't know, 9 months into their marriage. Mm-hmm. They get divorced after 6.
Ooh.
What do you do then? If they get divorced, are they obliged to give some stuff back that they haven't used?
Are they going to... That's difficult. I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
Abby, dear Abby.
I got my own dear Abby for you. I got my own question.
I guess my thing is,
I would not.
If I ever have a wedding, I really don't want these gifts. If anything, just give me cash. Give me like $50 because I'm paying for you to eat and drink tonight.
Honestly, that's the better.
You know what I mean? It's just easy that way. I don't want to go on the store and be like, I want these dishes and I want that.
Trust me, it is nice though to get that kind of. You realize it later.
See, but I'm not really a material kind of person. It's not really me.
You and your AirPods. I'm not very material.
Okay, listen. Once you go AirPods, just have to keep the AirPods going. But I don't know. There's no thank you gift. Or no thank you letter. There's no, hey, do you want this back even?
I would say...
I wonder what the gift is, though, too. They say it's $250, so I'm thinking like a nice appliance. What do you think?
I would say, probably appliance. But I would say you got to give it back.
You know, a smart microwave?
A smart microwave.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now. Okay, now this one I think is really interesting because I could see your opinion on it, my opinion on it. It's interesting. Dear Carolyn, I love Carolyn because Carolyn's like Abby, but like a little bit more hip. Carolyn, I'm organizing a birthday party for my 8-year-old son. One of the neighborhood mothers called the other day asking for gift ideas. I told her a gift wasn't necessary, and I meant it, but she insisted. Since I didn't want to run the risk of her getting something he already has or didn't like, I suggested she get him a gift card. Now, I hear a rumor circulating that my suggestion was tacky and classless, and that I might as well have asked for cash. Am I wrong here? And Carolyn takes this middle route. She goes...
Yeah, I think you know what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
She says, maybe some see gift cards as a way to be polite, others see it as rude. Since you don't always know who's going to fall in which camp, and since cash solicitations are always rude, and since when it comes to money, family is an extension of self, I would cancel the party, stump the lights, close the blinds, and sneak your son a cupcake. Tough neighborhood, But next time...
Damn.
I think she was joking.
Really?
I think she was joking.
Okay. I was going to say...
Next time, maybe save gift card suggestions for family and close friends, because really, redundant gifts aren't exactly a crisis. I can't suggest much else in earnest, though, because your behavior here wasn't really the problem. The moment the mother ratted you out to anyone within earshot, she became the rudest mother in the subdivision. Manners are about putting others at ease, not putting them out for shame. And irony is about calling someone tacky and class. And there's irony that she's calling you tacky and classless, but she's being tacky and classless, with her little gossip campaign. All you have to do is smile it off, be warm to party guests, and next time you've asked about gifts are just cheap, varied, returnable books or something. Let the gossips think your kid actually reads. I like that.
What? Wow, that's a little shade in there.
But you know what? I think she makes a good point because I personally, if you were to be like, hey, if I asked Paul, what do you want? And you said, a gift card's fine. I think I'd be like, okay, I could do a gift card, but like I like personal gifts,
No,
but I don't think I'd ever ask you. I wouldn't ask you what you wanted. I think I would go ahead and do a personal or like a liquor or like a wine.
Gift cards are 100% okay.
Yeah.
100%. The only time gift cards are bad, and this has happened to me, when someone gets you a gift card for a store that's like not even within a 50-mile radius of your house.
They're like, I got you a Circuit City gift card.
No, I got one that like the nearest is like maybe an hour away.
Oh my god. Like Ponderosa or something? Jeez.
So gift cards are okay. Just be mindful of it. Nothing wrong with an Amazon gift. Who cares?
You know what? I think too. Carolyn makes a good point. It's like you kind of know who you're talking to.
She just threw shade at her though at the bottom though. It's not like your kid actually reads.
Well, I think. See, if Abby had said that, I would have been a little pissy. But Carolyn can get away with that because Carolyn's cool. I don't know. I'm curious.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
I think the biggest deal for me isn't the fact that she said, you can get my son a gift card. It's the fact that this lady was so offended that she had to tell the whole block.
So that's your problem, not the gift card thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as the author who was writing to Carolyn, she was kind of worried, like, well, was I out of line? But Carolyn's like, well, you just kind of have to know who to say gift cards.
You got to know your audience. Yeah. You do got to know your audience.
And I could see an older lady who's a friend who's on the block getting upset with that.
Probably.
Because I think people see gift card gifts as like cop out. It's cheap. It's tawdry.
But it's easy.
But I would rather get a $5 gift card, just something I would use, than like someone to spend $30 on something that like I don't need.
And let's be honest, redundant gifts they're a chore because you gotta change them, and it's awkward at times.
I mean, it's not the worst. It's just like I'm also really bad. Like
it's kids. Kids are gonna be. I got this already. So that's what you're gonna run into.
I think if anything, maybe she should have, I like the books idea.
Books are good.
I think that's a good idea. It's easy.
a good way to go.
Yeah.
Remember for next time.
Well, we had gifts, we had poems. What an episode. This was a little classy today.
I know, you art snob over there.
Seriously, oh my god, that's going to be the name of the episode, Art Snob City. All right, until next time.
Later.